Prologue. June 2009, 2:26 a.m., somewhere in the Northern California woods. Still in shock, Michelle staggered towards the direction of the 50s doo-wop music. The deep gash on her shoulder was bleeding profusely now. Then, turning the bend in the road, she saw the car. Motionless, on the side of the road, sat a blue, shining 1949 Ford Thunderbird. Through the window, the radio crooned. "Hey, me and my boyfriend were in an accident. Is there anyone there? Can I please use your phone? Hello?" Reaching the window, Michelle peered inside. Empty. The only sign of life came from the crackling radio. The car had an almost misplaced feel about it. Like a piece of a collage, it had been cut out of one decade and pasted into another. Suddenly, there was the sound of pounding feet behind her. Before Michelle could turn around, she felt a dull thump to the back of her head, and she slumped to the ground. Above, for a few seconds, neon green lights illuminated the sky, and then, as abruptly as they appeared, they went, plunging the mountain into darkness once again. The sun was cooking that day as Vernon and Jazz strolled along the sidewalk of Petaluma Boulevard with their Elvis-style pompadours and easy swagger. From the cut of Jazz's jacket to the detail across the shoulder blades of Vernon's bowling shirt, they were immediately identifiable as greasers. No different from the rest of the disenfranchised youth population of Petaluma. But they were different. A month ago they had taken Vernon's Thunderbird up into the hills, and they had seen the eerily beautiful green lights illuminating the sky, dancing on the horizon. They now approached the hardware store, where Wilmer leant behind the counter, sorting stock. "Wilmer?" Wilmer looked up with a start. "Hey, Vernon." There was something shifty about this guy, his sardonic manner, as though he knew some big old secret, and that he was just sitting back watching everyone else make fools of themselves. Wilmer neither liked nor trusted him. Now he observed this new guy, this Jazz character. His deep-set, steely blue eyes had a manic intensity to them, his jagged eyebrows slightly raised and his mouth curved into a faint smirk. Listening to Vernon try to explain to this square the events of the past months, the wonder of what was to come and the look of bemusement and more than a flicker of fear flit across his face was faintly amusing to Jazz, and he snickered. This won him an offended look from Wilmer, who clearly thought he and Vernon were a couple of cooks. For most of his life they had been on the outskirts of society, but a tidal wave of change was coming, and he and Vernon would be riding on the curve of it. "Vernon, you're wasting your time, man. This cube don't get it." Vernon turned to give Wilmer a fleeting smile. "No, not yet, but you will, Wilmer, you will." Then, as he turned, his eyes met Jazz's, and they broke into a screech of laughter. It had a manic quality to it that made Wilmer's stomach lurch like he was falling down real fast in a roller coaster car. They were still laughing as they left the store. Wilmer returned to sorting stock. His hands were trembling violently as he sifted through the bags of screws and nails.
Pussy Wagon, as the gang called her, loitered outside the auto shop, waiting for Trixie to finish her shift. The sun had gone in now, and there was a chill in the air. Before leaving the house, she had put on her red sweater over her bodysuit. Leaning against the wall, she pulled out a box of matches and lit up a Lucky. She closed her eyes and inhaled deeply. They were going to take Trixie's Mercury coupe to the foot of the mountain, and then take the Tor County hiking trail up to Eagle Ridge. "Hey, baby," Trixie purred as she walked across the parking lot. Gwen loved watching her move, her hips and butt swaying hypnotically in her blue jeans, the way she knotted her plaid shirt around her waist, accentuating her curves. They embraced and moved into a slow, sensual kiss. The other workers had left an hour ago. Not that they would have cared either way. They had long since stopped giving a shit what the other locals thought about their sexuality. Arms wrapped around one another's waists. They sashayed over to the car. The car didn't actually belong to Trixie. Technically, it belonged to a customer. It made no difference to them, however. Swinging the keys by the magic 8 ring, Trixie opened the passenger door with a flourish, and Gwen climbed in. As they drove, Gwen turned the dial on the radio until they found a station with some cool sounds. First they sang and shimmied to Buddy Holly's Rave On, and then Chantilly Lace by the Big Bopper. Parking the car under some trees, they got out and made their way to the entrance of the hiking trail, nearly hidden by the low hanging branches of the pine trees.
Well, hey there, Hepcat, said Vernon. Actually, no, this was inaccurate. Vernon's lips didn't move, but Wilmer could hear his voice clearly. You don't need to talk out loud, Wilmer, Vernon continued. Just think real loud and we can hear you. Where are you? Wilmer projected his thoughts. They've been searching all over the county for you, but they won't find trace of us, Wilmer. You see, we're no longer in this dimension. We are part of something else now, far beyond what you could ever comprehend. The room was dark once again. Wilmer sat on the bed, hugging his knees and thinking about the pact he had just made with Vernon. It would be more than 60 years before Wilmer fully understood his part of the bargain. Oakland, California. Rhythmic moans came through the open bedroom window, rising steadily in intensity. Quentin sat on the edge of the bed, bouncing up and down as his hips bucked. Shade, a nubile brunette in her mid-20s, forced him backwards onto the red satin sheets. Sweat-drenched, the two bodies grinded in perfect synchronicity. Cody leant back against the truck with Elroy, gazing up at the clouded sky, feeling the mid-August sun blazing directly upon his chiseled features. Both ruggedly handsome young men in their mid-20s, occasionally chuckling at the ever-increasing screams of ecstasy from Shade and Q. The ice-cold beers they'd taken from the cooler helped take the edge off of the fierce Californian heat. 3 scantily clad young women paused in front of the driveway. "Hey, Cody," purred a coquettish voice. Cody looked up and smirked, squinting in the sun, taking in the young, barely legal nymph and her equally desirable companions. "Mary, you girls staying out of trouble this summer?" Mary and her friends tittered at this. "Yeah, of course." Elroy snickered at this, and she and her friends started walking away. Cody called back, "Hey, say hi to your pops for me." "I will," smiled Mary, turning back. "Yeah, say hi to Pops," said Elroy, gazing at the girls' asses and shaking his head as they strutted away. Last summer Mary had just been a kid, but she and her friends had sure blossomed this year. Just as Cody was checking his watch, a black Cadillac Escalade pulled up, the speakers blaring. "Q home?" growled the burly, shaven-headed guy, leaning out of the open window towards Cody. "Q? I believe he's busy," replied Cody breezily. At this, he got out of the car and planted himself inches from Cody, so close Cody could smell the alcohol on his breath. "Well, tell him to hurry up, 'cause I'm looking for him." Cody and Elroy exchanged glances. It was looking like this might turn into a situation. Cody sneered. Who are you again? Tim, he hissed, eyes narrowing at Cody. Hearing the commotion, Q charged out of the house, still pumping with adrenaline, now wearing his black leather biker vest emblazoned with the gang's logo. Hey, what's up, Tim? How you doing, man? Reaching into his back pocket, he grabbed his handgun. It connected with Tim's jaw, knocking him to the ground. Watching Q beat the shit out of this loser, Cody called, Well, he's right here, Tim, if you're still looking for him. The driver was out the car now. Clearly he wanted a piece of the action too. Well, Cody, Q, and Elroy were only too happy to oblige. They were members of the crew, and they took shit from no one. Cody weaved his way through the crowd to where Shade and his mom were standing. Oh, Linda crooned, drunkenly clutching him to her. How's my prince? Happy birthday, Mom, Cody replied, returning her embrace. Then the door suddenly swung open and Cody found himself face to face with his ex-girlfriend, Michelle. I really didn't know you were gonna be here, she sneered, looking him up and down. It's my mom's birthday, Michelle. Yeah, she sniggered, gesturing to the beefstick and a black backwards baseball cap that put his arm around her shoulders in what was obviously meant to be a macho display of ownership. You remember Dave, right? He's my old man now. At this, Dave turned his head to plant a kiss on Michelle's smirking lips, obviously relishing the opportunity to rub Cody's nose in it. We've met before, right? Said Dave. Yeah, Michelle chuckled like 3 times. Cody shook his head. Well, Michelle, 6 months. You sure move on quick, don't ya? Blared from Wilmer's shed. The grimy window was daubed in bloody symbols. The room was in a complete disarray, strewn with newspaper cuttings and debris. On stacks of newspapers, benches, and top tables stood little portable televisions amongst the jumble. Each screen showed only static. Through the clutter, a pair of heavy boots kicked papers out of the way. Wilmer's pit bull lay there, its skinned, mutilated carcass discarded in a corner. Trixie and Pussy Wagon crawled across the floor. Arching their backs, they were growling and playfully snapping at one another. As the boots stopped beside them, they looked up, falling silent, their glittering eyes meeting Vernon's. Back at the farmhouse, Shade was trying to get Q's truck started, repeatedly turning the key in the ignition and getting more and more frustrated. Oh, for fuck's sake, come on, she growled. Trying her cell, she lifted it to her ear, but all she could hear was a high-pitched static crackle. The screen pixelated for a moment and then went dead. By the time Cody, Q, and Elroy came back, Shade had lifted up the hood, examining the engine. Q walked over. Honey, what are you doing? It's fucking Dad. What the fuck do you mean my truck's dead? That thing was running perfectly, Cody, I swear, said Elroy in bewilderment, going over to Q and Shade with a flashlight. Hey, drawled Vernon, bending down to look at Cody. Lover boy's awake, he announced. Hey, lover boy. Cody frantically looked for his handgun, which Vernon held up with a grin. Looking for this? All this sweet puss, lover boy? Vernon said, jumping to his feet. And you keep it to yourself? There were 5 of them, Cody saw, 3 guys and 2 girls. Megan and Shade were tied up back to back on a couple of chairs, bound by layers of plastic wrap. Vernon strutted over to them, straddling Shade. She recoiled as he caressed her face with the barrel of the handgun. Murderball, meanwhile, was tearing off another sheet of cellophane. "What do you want?" asked Cody weakly. The gang chuckled at this. "Want?" said Vernon, eyebrows raised. "We just heard there was a wild party here tonight and we weren't invited. Is that true?" "Who are you?" Cody tried to sound menacing. "Do you have any idea whose house you just set foot in?" Vernon grinned. All right. He turned to the rest of the gang. "Now, before we get into a hissy fit and start raising a ruckus, you're right. We should go round the room and learn each other's names proper-like." Gesturing to himself, "Me first, I'm Vernon." Pointing the pistol to the guy in the suit, "This handsome gentleman over here with a switchblade, that's Jazz." "I'm shy," said Jazz. Then he broke into a tap dance routine, finished with a flourish, clicking his switchblade. "Greetings and salutations." He took a bow, giving Cody a wolfish grin. Then he looked over to the doorway. "Those 2 fine specimens in the back hanging out, that's Trixie and Pussy Wagon." Cody looked over at them. Trixie wore a plaid shirt, knotted around her waist with denim capris. Pussy Wagon wore a black lycra bodysuit over fishnets. Over the bodysuit, she wore a red sweater with a black belt cinching in her waist. "Hey, lover boy," they purred. Trixie gave him a little wave. Crooned Vernon. "They like you. We're just a friendly bunch looking for a good time." The violent kind. With a devious chuckle, he strolled back over to Cody. Bending so close, Cody could see the spider tattoo on the side of Vernon's neck. "So, lover boy, what's your name?" Cody turned his head away, and Vernon punched him around the head. Megan whimpered, "What's your name, "Cody." "Cody," repeated Vernon. "And how about the girls? What are their names?" He leapt across the room, pointing the gun at each girl in turn. "Megan! Shade!" "Megan and Shade," Vernon exclaimed. "Now those are pretty names." Trixie, Pussy Wagon, and Jazz chuckled at this. Now Megan and Shade, they were scratching up old Murderball pretty bad, so we had to wrap 'em up. Murderball just loves this plastic. The light bulbs began to flicker. "Is it time yet?" whined Jazz. "No, Jazz, it's not time yet. Have some patience." Vernon gazed around the room at their captives. "The show hasn't even begun." He looked directly at Cody. "Now, it's been real nice meeting all of you, but this isn't all of you now, is it?" "Look," said Cody, "I'm going to give you one chance to round up all your friends and get out of here right now." "Oh!" Vernon gave a mock shudder as the rest of the gang convulsed in derisive cackles. "Wow, you said that with such conviction, so hero-like. Now I count 3 of you, but I feel like somebody's missing." He closed his eyes for a second. "Someone of the female persuasion." "There's no one else," muttered Cody. Vernon struck him again with such force it sent Cody reeling. He then grabbed Cody by the chin, looking into his eyes. "Well," said Vernon, "we'd like to thank you all for everything. It's been a wild ride. Cody, Megan, Quentin, You all sure do know how to have a real swell time, but all good things must come to an end. Michelle, sniffed Megan. Vernon leaned in close to her. Boy, you really don't understand, do ya? Michelle's gone, baby, but something brilliant is taking her place. You're not even human. You're a devil, a monster. Do you even know what's happening? He gestured with the switchblade. Look around you at what is happening. Your stories of gods and monsters and devils and angels. Where do you think they come from, huh? They come from the void, the blackness in between the stars, Cody. Out there, where time doesn't exist, from our kind. Vernon stretched and rolled his shoulders. Oh, these fragile bodies you decide to dwell in. He took the blade and drew it against his palm. On his wrist he had a tattoo of a playing card. These small moments of emotion, he thrust his hips, so strange. This feeling? Is this love? He went to join the other rockabillys in a line behind where Michelle lay on the coffee table. He squeezed the blood from his palm onto her chest, drawing a symbol in it with his finger. You're gonna have to deal with some unpleasant shifts in time, he said. But Dick, you will see the beauty of the moment. Beams of light burst through Michelle, and the rockabilly gang began to glow, surrounded by a shower of platinum orbs. Vernon shook his head. All this killing and violence, so unnecessary, but it seems to be the only thing you people respond to. Crouched down next to them. I'm not gonna kill you, Cody. I just came to see you off. You left without saying goodbye. We had a real good time with you, didn't we? A lot of kicks, real fun. But now, I got some more serious stuff I gotta take care of. He glanced over at the darkening clouds on the horizon. You see, I like you. I do. In fact, I like you both. Which is why I'm gonna let you go. Trust me, though, he added. I'm not doing you a real favor. What's coming now is far worse. Something you can't imagine. You see, your kind is a dying breed. The human kind. All right, then. Vernon got up and started to walk away, but then turned back. I almost forgot. You can go ahead and take our wheels. We got no use for them anymore. Plus, Murderbolt drank all the gasoline in your pickup truck. Good luck. He smiled at them. You're gonna need it. As he walked back across the field, he raised his arms to the sky. It's gonna be a beautiful day.